You're listening to iFanboy Pick of the Week, episode 1007. I'm Josh Flanagan. Here's my co-host, Conor Kilpatrick.
Hello, everybody.
You're thinking, geez, Josh, you're peppy today. It's true. This is our last show for the year.
The faster we do it, the faster we're done.
That's filled with a kind of joy the regular holiday doesn't get me. This is the final pick of the week for iFanboy 2025. Also, the last time you'll hear that little catchphrase. I guess we need new logos or something.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
So it has been our 20th year of doing the show and our 25th year of doing iFanboy. That means that for every week for 25 years, we have picked a book we like the best from the stack of comics and called the pick of the week. That first 5, we wrote about it to no one. The last 20, we talked about it.
And we wrote about it for...
Yeah, I don't know when that stopped.
7 years. 8 years. 8 years we wrote about it and talked about it.
Yeah, so we did both.
Yep.
Turned out, I was very worried when we stopped writing about it that we wouldn't be able to talk about it as easily, but apparently all of that repetition made it quite simple. You pick a thing, you talk about that thing, and then before you know it, you have to stop because it's been 10 minutes. We will talk about that book in our practice. It's been about 10 to 12, 13 minutes.
No, we're on it. We're on it. We don't really keep track of the time as much during the segments, but it's true. They're pretty
We will talk about other books. Which is sort of a subconscious timing, if you're like, but we're thinking about these things. The patron pick, then listener mail. It will be fun for me because it's like that last day of school before vacation. There will be spoilers for the books. Normally I say exercise some caution, but if given the chance in this show, I think I'm just going to be rampant. I'm going to spoil everything the moment it comes up. You should read your books.
I want to make clear to people who will take it the wrong way. We love doing the show. It's just we also need a break at the end of the year. You just need to recharge the batteries and take a break from all the work that goes into making the show. So we're excited about that. And then we'll be excited to come back in January.
Imagine suddenly not having homework.
Right.
That's what it is. Conor, through yet one more graceful stroke of God, had the pick this week.
Yeah, I don't like making qualifications on the pick. It was not a great week of comics. It was a okay to average fine week of comics. Last week was an okay to average fine week of comics. We're going out on a okay average fine week of comics, but just not a super great week. So when I finished reading my books, I thought, oh, geez, I don't know. And the pick ended up being Nova Centurion #2 from Marvel Comics, Jed McKay, Alvaro Lopez, and Mateo Delafonte on art. And I read Nova about halfway through the stack. And I was like, that was really fun. I enjoyed that. And then as I kept reading my books and kept reading more just okay, fine, whatever books, I kept thinking about the reasons why I like Nova. Like when you do this long enough, your brain just starts to work.
Sure.
And starts doing the work. And so as I was reading my stack, I kept thinking of reasons why Nova could be the pick or would be the pick. Like I just started coming up with them. I'm not even consciously. They just started popping in my head. And so when I finished my stack, I thought, you know what? It's Nova Centurion. That's fine. I enjoyed it. We talked about issue 1 last time it came out. This version of Nova is a man on a mission to make money. He's got to support the world mind, and that costs money. And so he's taking jobs for the money, and he's currently on a job for a crime syndicate called the Kree and Skrull War, which is funny. It's a one Kree and one Skrull member running it.
And they have their own accuser. I did not know that.
They have their own accuser who they have put into contract as being part of his crew. And so now he's out on the mission. And what I really liked was the crew. Like, I like this team around Nova. So there's the accuser. There's in his head, there's the world mind. There is the guy with the walrus face, who I don't remember who that is, but I like
Ponda
him.
Baba.
And then there's another person. I don't know their names, but I like their personalities.
I don't remember them being put together, and I don't know if I wasn't paying attention at the beginning of the story, but I was just like, he just has a crew now? When did this happen? I like that we didn't have to explain everything. They're just out there.
I also like that he shaved his beard. Obviously, we are pro beard on the show, but I don't like Nova with the beard. There's too much going on with the helmet and the beard. And so then they have to go to this planet, Tarsvastal the second, and they have to go find a guy who Nova has a long history with going back to the Annihilation War. Now, I didn't read the Annihilation War, but Josh did, so this probably had slightly more meaning for him than it did for me.
I don't remember it.
But you know, basically this really badass dude who they have to all team up to take down. There's a sniper, there's a spotter, there's the accuser with her hammer, there's Nova with his power, and they have a really fun battle. They find out halfway through, oh shit, he's actually absorbing our power. This is a mistake. There's jokes. There's the spotter and the sniper saying, "So how long until these two start kissing?" Referring to Nova and the accuser. That was funny.
And it had not occurred to me, but as soon as he said it, I was like, "You're right. That is what would happen."
And so it's just, I like this setup. I like Nova. I've always liked Nova as a character, going back to the New Warriors days in the early '90s. And I just like that there's this sort of fun ragtag people who, it's not a heist story, but it's sort of like that. It's like they have to get this team together of experts, and they have to go do this mission, and there's a fun battle in the middle. And I really like the art. I think Alvaro Lopez is terrific, and Mateo De La Fonte was really good, and they worked well together. And it's just beneficial. I thought I'm really going to read the next issue more than most comics I read this week.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it.
I will say one thing that I've noticed about the era of having a lot of Italian artists is that they have the most fun names to say over and over, and I think that that's valuable.
Mateo De La Fonte.
Mateo De La Fonte.
How does your iPad handle all the olive oil? Look, it slows mine down.
Conor at iFanboy.com. Do not include me in that.
These jokes are funny when we had third host who was Italian.
Yeah, there's certain groups of people who I wish not to offend.
That's true. They like vendettas.
Okay, again, no.
I respect that. I respect the vendetta.
I was thinking about why I say I like Nova, and it's one of those, like, it's just become an accepted thing, and you're like, oh, you read an Annihilation War, and I did. I don't remember pretty much anything about it other than
it was a long time ago.
Yes, it was, and I don't remember
years
stuff
ago,
I read last week, but I have fond feelings of it, you know. And it's one of those, like, there's certain things that you used to like, you know, that you're kind of worried to read it now because you may not feel that way. Like, I was thinking about this. I'd be a little afraid to read Transmetropolitan again. Because it had that kind of aggressive energy that was very attractive to me when I was 20, but I don't have that anymore. Not that it's bad or whatever, but anyway, you know, when I think back to that all the Galactic stuff from the
Guardian and it was Nova. Those are the two main books.
You know, I have a good feeling about them, and I think I'm pretty sure that if I were to read them now, they'd just be good comic books. And that's fine. So I was thinking about, like, why do I like Nova? What is that? And I think that he's in this really cool class of comic book character who has actually been allowed to evolve. When we first meet him in the 70s or whenever that was, he's a kid. He's a kid from Long Island. He gets this power, and it's like, wow, it's like Spider-Man. He was basically a different version. He was
Cosmic Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was Cosmic Spider-Man. But now, like, he's been through it. He's like a war vet. He's got the 10,000 yard
He's grizzled.
stare. Yeah. And not every character is allowed to be that, but he is. And one of the things, and that can be fun. It cannot be fun. I think there's a lot of characters with whom it is not. But in this one, I don't know, they've made the stakes interesting enough so that, like, it fits with the character and it works really well. And so, like, the thing where he shaves his beard off and is like, all right, we're going to do this thing, like he's taking it seriously and trying to revert to a younger, more effective version of himself, if not just visually. But I like that. I like that there's some history behind it that, a lot of characters don't get to do. We don't.
Totally. And in the Nova we saw in, what was it called? Was it Infinity? What was that miniseries with? Was that called? It just ended like a month ago.
I know.
I think it was called that. Anyway, he was several notches more grizzled than this one. They've dialed him down, and he's more sort of world weary. Like, I've been here before. I've done all this. He's wearing like Hawaiian shirts. He's just sort of like hanging out in the ship, and he's like, yeah, okay, let's do this thing. But he also takes it really seriously. Like you said, when he shaves the beard, he's like, let's go. Let's do
Imperial.
This. Imperial. What was Infinity? That's a different thing.
Yeah. That was
he's just a fun character. And he's ultimately Green Lantern, whatever, doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's fun. The design's nice, but I just think you put together, and there's going to be another book we talk about later in the show that's similar, where they've just like taken these random space characters in the same sense and made a fun little group out of them and given them a mission, and it's fun to be with them.
Yeah, and
And
there's definitely that shot where the guy in the sniper rifle staring at him, and he's like, "Oh, we're only here to support the main show." And you flip zip full page, and he's got the rocket. He's the
yeah,
human rocket there, and you're like, "Yeah,"
right.
And that had he had that beard, it wouldn't have worked the same way. So that's a great drawing, by the way. I don't so much love the way that this art is finished in everything. It's not bad, but I
It's
think the
very
cartoon,
polished. It's
yeah,
very
I think
clean.
but sort of the action shots, I think, are, the character stuff.
I
It's a little over the top in terms of their, not over the top, but it's very like aggro superhero stuff.
and I love an overconfident accuser.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, I'm gonna come in with my hammer and take it down, and she just gets whacked out, like
Mhm.
backhanded out of the ship. Is she an accuser?
They
No,
called her something
she's
else.
she's the sentencer.
Yeah, she's
She's
not
cure kit.
ear kit.
Your kit. I'm
The
not making any of the right
sentencer.
mouth sounds.
Is
Your
that a
kit.
thing? Like, if you're no longer employed by the government, you can't be an accuser. You're a senator, or is that like a
I think,
accepted
or is there only
thing?
one accuser, Ronan, and the rest everybody else is something else?
Oh,
I don't know. You know more about it than I do.
again, you keep saying that, but
Well, you read all those books. I didn't.
no. First of all, I don't feel like that was ever like
I
explained.
think there's
You
only
just
one accuser, and then everyone else is something else. I don't know.
the Hala
Holla.
legal defense system is complicated. It's much more. It's been set up by the World Mind, so it's very intricate.
There's an Eep joke. We haven't seen an Eep joke.
I
in a while.
thought of you immediately.
Eep, eep. I just think this was really fun.
Hold on. Quick story time.
Okay.
Tiny quick story time. I don't remember a lot of things. I remember this moment. I was in a class with Conor
In college
26 years ago, and I was sitting next to Conor because we really have been friends for that long. And the teacher was a scary teacher. We called her Darth with her last name, which was also not unlike many Marvel Comics artists. Anyway, and she said something, and I just heard a very quiet beep. And the teacher said, she's like, what was that? And I looked at her and I go, Conor said eep. And he goes, I did, eep. And then we moved on. But I just remember saying, Conor said eep, as if everyone understood what that meant. Yeah.
That's how you diffuse the situation. You admit it. I said eep.
Oh, that's a lesson I learned early.
We both got A's in that class, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And we were seniors. Who cared? So anyway, with every subsequent book that I read, I just kept thinking about Nova and how much I enjoyed it, and the scenes I liked, and the character stuff, and sometimes in a week like this, that's enough to be picked, and that's not to knock the book at all. I think the book is really fun. It's just that this wasn't like a week where there was like a bountiful of riches.
You're not getting every week. I think it's important every once in a while to be like, this was a fun random superhero issue, and that is something. That is something. And sometimes when you don't get somebody trying to make history with their, new series or whatever, you get to be like, all right, so what delivered in the way that these things are actually supposed to deliver? And I think that has a lot of value.
So normally in the show, well, not all the time, but a lot of the times, the second position book is like the runner-up-ish book.
Yeah.
For pick of the week. Not this week. Absolute Batman number 15.
Wow.
Scott Snyder, and I don't even mean it's just I'm more interested in talking about this book than anything.
Yeah, no, I think that's usually how I look at part 2. Is like sometimes it's the second round, sometimes it's the thing that we need to talk about that wasn't necessarily pick. This book.
So first of all, Scott Snyder and special guest artist Jock, re-teaming up back from the old Detective Comics days. We've met the Joker, but now we really meet the Joker. For the first time in this world.
This is a lot to deal with, and I don't know that we have time to work it out.
We're gonna do it,
but I'd like to hear your take.
My first, so I have two overall takes. One, and you can just go by the cover image, which, by the way, they shouldn't have put on the cover. It spoils the big reveal that he's this monster. Like,
then he looks exactly like Croc.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. But like, they just should have put this in the cover image. I realize they're trying to sell books, but also like it should defeat the purpose of the story. I don't love what I don't love about Absolute Batman is that every villain is basically this kind of monster, where it's like they're really over the top. They're not villains in the human sense. They are monsters. So Bane is like gigantic and comically muscled, and Croc has like 15-foot
Yeah.
face, and the Joker is basically like a dinosaur monster or like some sort of woodland creature with horns, and if that's the way you want to go, fine. It's not
Every one of them. You know, like does it have to be
that's
all?
what
Because
everyone. And
I read.
it's just
I
nothing
was out.
interesting to me
I was
personally.
out
I don't
2 weeks ago, and so I
Yeah.
had to read 14, which came out 2 weeks ago,
Right.
just before this. And when he became like a 15-story muscle-bound thing, which I was
Yeah.
like, physics-wise, I don't even. Anyway, and so I tried to put some space between when I read them, but I
Right.
got to this, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Is this like it's
The
the same, exactly
Super
the
long
same."
neck, big mouth, lots of teeth.
Like great gaining mass and muscle. He's cultivating mass.
And that's fine. That's a comic book thing, but it's just like, okay, another monstrous
different
version.
thing.
And I'm sure there's an audience for it. It's just I'm not
Yes.
super into this kind of thing. And it's a bummer because we really enjoyed the first like 5 or 6 issues of this book a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But once like Bane came in, and then wasn't even like Mr. Freeze kind of like a monster too.
I don't like. I know that it was, and like, it is the mandate. By the way, is they shouldn't be, and they're not just doing the same versions of the
They're not.
characters. And I give them credit, but I think that it would be beneficial to have either a little more diversity in that, and then, or also if you're going to do the same kind of thing, like put more space in between it. I liked Bane. I liked that it was different. You know, I don't expect it to be the same thing, and like I kind of got the idea after a while, but then to sort of immediately go to this Joker thing, and right away I looked at the cover and I was like, I don't know about that. I opened it and I was like, oh, Jock, and I was like, I'm already conflicted.
I mean, he drew the monster
that,
really, really well.
Absolutely, that's a great cover. Like,
but also the double page spread where we first see the Joker coming out of like the woods it's terrifying. So the reveal here, and it'll lead to my second point, is that the Joker is this sort of immortal man who is incredibly rich and runs a tech company, and then at the end it's revealed he's basically he's Bruce Wayne. He's got the manor, he's got the butler, he's got the clock that opens up to a cave. And my thought was, well, if Nemesis hadn't come out, this would be interesting. But Nemesis is the exact same thing, which is Batman is the Joker. Is the Batman.
And what I thought was, didn't you do this with the Batman Who Laughs? Like, wasn't that kind of the deal too? That was what I thought, and I was like, that was Scott Snyder.
I went under the knife. I went to one of the most world-renowned brain surgeons and had him go into my brain folds and find the part that remembered the Man Who Laughs, and he just cut it right out. It just all the pieces are okay. Like this, I thought the story was interesting about the history of the character, although I was getting a little tired of the dialogue where Alfred would say something and Bruce would go, "Tell me the truth," and then he'd go, "Okay, well, tell me what you mean." And I was just like, "You're doing this for half the issue."
We're in accord,
but the story was good. Even the dialogue was kind of frustrating, and then like you get to the end, and they basically like he's straight up Bruce Wayne, and at least in appearance, in accoutrement, and he's literally, it's the same. He walks down a thing, he turns the clock to a time and walks down a thing. Like if you hadn't, it's like the third time now, and it's like, well, the idea of the bad guy being Batman is done before.
When he went to the island, and landed on it, and went through the jungle, just because there's a lot of Batmans, I just was like, I guess Bruce Wayne is there, forgetting who Bruce Wayne is in this book. Like I thought I was watching Bruce Wayne hunt this guy concurrently to being explained. I really did. And so like it kind of didn't occur to me until later. And by later, I mean right now, that was him. As I sort of flipped through it, it was weird. It was very weird.
I can't say it's bad. I can't say it's bad. It's just not the monster thing isn't my taste, and the Nemesis thing, I'll just call it, has been done, including up to the fact that Nemesis is coming out right now, and so that book is literally the Batman with the Joker's personality in his brain, basically, and it's the same thing.
I really liked the backstory of this person, who Joker, was the clown. You know, what was his? He has a name.
Jack Kerr. Jack Kerr.
Oh God. And then and the fact that there was a lineage but then it turned out it's not a lineage, just the same person. I actually think I'm not, whatever, you do what you want. I'm not telling you to rewrite it. Obviously.
Well, Jack Grimm,
but
I think at some point, because he calls him Kerr, doesn't he? I could be wrong.
Either way, I
liked
the idea of a lineage, actually.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like one of these, but then they sort of erased it right away. I like the idea that like one of these, rebelled, and that's why he's got money. And then I was like, oh, that's always, because there's always been a thing like, how does the Joker pay for all that weird shit that he has? Where does he get those toys? And I kind of thought it would have been really cool to make this Joker the villain, who's like not a crazy clown, but still has sort of the same. I thought that's where we were going.
Right.
The real opposite of the Joker, but then it was like huge monster. And I was like, I think it had something interesting before the monster.
Yeah. It would have been more of a shocker if they hadn't put the monster on the cover.
Sure.
And that's just me. I get it. They got to sell books,
but still being like reading the book, seeing, like I was like, they've done it, so it wasn't like a surprise. I was like, he's gonna be I guess from the cover, but also this is what this book does. That's what it is. They need an excuse. They can't have just a dude, because they need an excuse to bring out the giant bat dump truck, I guess.
It's tough.
Bane was bigger than the stadium.
I know, it was weird.
Where does that matter come from?
So this is kind of a one shot. Well, that doesn't matter. That we all this. We make that joke all the time with, how does Megatron become a monster in a little handgun, or a robot in a little handgun?
Alien robots.
Yeah, exactly.
Different rules.
This is a one shot. Next issue, we're doing a crossover with Absolute Wonder Woman. I mean, they're both next issues involve each other. I don't know if they actually are crossing over, or they're just separately telling team up stories. But next issue, it says here, next issue Absolute Wonder Woman, and then the last Absolute Wonder Woman said next issue Absolute Batman. So we'll see if it's an actual crossover or what.
I'll tell you the difference between what's going on here in the Absolute books versus what's going on in the Ultimate books is that nothing is happening in either. But at least the Absolute ones are interesting. They are. like they give us, like, say what you will, but part of it is giving it this to talk about. Like, which has value again of its own. Like, why are you doing this to Joker? And we have to think about it and go through it. And it's not like I was miserable reading this. I wasn't like, ugh, this is awful. Wasn't that?
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate again. It's not a bad comic. It's just not to my personal interest. And so, am I still reading it? Yes, I am. And I'm still reading
You're not even saying it's bad. You're not like, don't read this. This is crap. That's not that.
No, other than I am remarking that the big reveal about the Joker being Batman has been done before, and it's not so shocking when I literally read it 2 weeks ago. Nemesis, but it is what it is. I mean, it's confounding. I think the book's confounding because
this is what I said. It's very confounding.
Yeah. So there you go.
Jock, by the way.
Awesome.
I have no complaints. That, in fact, monster stuff, whatever, the non-monster stuff, the history stuff, the old-timey,
he did it in
vaudeville in Hollywood. Oh man, I could read that all day. That was great.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back with more comics right after this. Okay, back to books. Assorted Crisis Events number 7 from Dennis Camp and Eric Zawadsky and Jordy Biller and Hassan. I like this issue, but not as much as the previous 3. So, yeah.
I mean, poor Tom. Let's talk about the. You know what? I actually thought, given that I was 4 and 5, I think were super dark. And
6 is also super dark. It was
so they all were. And so when I got to this, I was like preparing myself.
Right.
And I think that
more comedic,
even though the subject matter was about as dark as you can get, it was handled in such a way, that sort of was like, another day, another corpse, like, what are you going to do? Like the vacuum in the Flintstones, and not in the comic book version, the TV one. It's a living, but
I mean, so if you can see the cover, if you're watching, so there's Tom is the man in the bottom. If you're not watching, you can just find the image, and there's a bunch of Toms falling out of the sky. Various, one's got a bunch of knives in his back. One's a skeleton. One's got his cleaver in his head. One's
perfect design.
Been beat up. And so Tom's thing is that up to a point in the book, every day a corpse of his appears in his area.
World.
Yeah, a dead body of him appears in the world, and at first he just sort of buries them all in the yard. But then in the course of the story, they start popping up more and more and more, multiple corpses, and then they come in faster and faster.
In different, for having been killed by different means, some of them quite gruesome, sort of all sorts of different ways. And the way that the character is drawn, everybody in the book, other than Tom, seems to be of sort of normal proportions. But Tom's kind of short, and he has like he has got like the classic nerd look. He's got like a short sleeve button shirt with a red bow tie and like high water pants
and glasses, thick glasses. Yeah,
and so
he looks like the guy from Up, the old man, but younger.
Yeah, he kind of does. Or Lewis from Revenge of the Nerds. But it just like the point of it being that like over time, like anything, this gruesome, horrible thing just becomes routine and a hassle to this guy in his life, and he's kind of not blame. Like everybody's starting to treat him like shit. He's not angry about it. He's just like, I just got to deal with this.
And it's kind of stuff to like ruin his life, you know. Like the landlord comes by and sees there's all these holes or mounds in the backyard, and then there's bosses like, you gotta. I mean, we go to the break room and there's a body of yours, and like we just can't deal with this. So he's trying to dump him. He goes to the dump, and the guy's like, I can't dump your bodies here anymore. And so then it becomes an issue, and until finally he realizes he had been selling some corpses to the hospitals, but they wouldn't take them anymore because they've worked on his corpse for so many times. So he starts driving all over the country, selling them, making a lot of money. It on our Patron Discord, they were trying to figure out what the metaphor was, if any, for real life, and all I could think of was that as you get older, your responsibilities multiply exponentially, and then eventually you get buried in them. But I don't know if there's a metaphor.
I was thinking about that, and I think you're close, but I think it's also like a matter of like there's just going to be difficulties and things that are going to be hard, and I mean it's a cynical way of looking at things, but some of the things you can just never make go away, and you can keep thinking of things to solve it. You can keep, and he does. He's like, all right, so I'll sell these, and then that kind of falls apart, and then it gets worse, and it keeps coming, and it's cynical. You can't outrun your problems. Like the things, and you could look at it as like these are his inner demons. These are his intrusive thoughts, and the more that he works on getting away from them, the stronger that they come at him, and you just kind of can't do anything about it, which is a lot of people's lives. I mean, it could be that metaphor applies to all sorts of things of how you're looking at it. Maybe you're looking at it in terms of depression, or you're saying like chores, responsibilities, and such. Like I mean, that's kind of what the beauty of it is. And he does great. Like you're impressed by Tom this entire time.
He's resourceful
with his ability, and like you can tell him getting it down, but he's not sort of letting it beat him. And I'm gonna tell you the one thing that didn't make sense in this entire book, and it stuck with me. I don't know why that ice cream guy lent him his truck.
That's true.
He had to know it was going to have corpses in it. That's this guy's whole thing.
Right.
I also really like the idea that like, or it could be like, I don't know, like a disability or whatever it is. Like it's something you cannot get away from, no matter how often you try to spin it into something manageable. And eventually it sort of it does. I liked how like all of the people had said like, I really like you. You're a good guy, and I'm really sorry, but I can't have this. And no one's wrong there.
It's because we talked about this before. We talked about it on our All Media show, which hasn't come out yet, but this is an anthology that takes place in a world of broken time, and so everyone is experiencing time-related problems. So no one's like, this guy is a monster. It's just like this.
Right.
We're all dealing with bullshit. This is yours, and
which is also another part of that same metaphor is that like, certainly as you get to be an adult, you want help. This guy keeps calling the hotline. He can't get there. He can't get anyone to help. He's got nobody. A lot of times, you don't have anybody to help you, bro. You don't have anybody to talk to the stuff about. It's just there, and you have to keep shoveling shit. That's what life is for some people.
So I totally agree with you with the ice cream man. Did make sense. And also, if you get to the end, it goes from like one corpse to like he's got like 30 corpses in his bedroom in the course of not very long. Like it's getting more. It's getting worse, but like he's not going to be able to survive. He can't. He can't keep disposing of 1,000 corpses a day. So it did seem like they over indexed on the problem
I mean, but I think that's part of the metaphor is like to just like keep dialing it up to put it down. And I think like what is the metaphor? And this is my main thought about the book. I didn't know people were talking about it. It's the same sort of deal. Is this just like you can keep doing that because it doesn't go away, and you're all applying, whatever it is your experiences to this. I think it's kind of brilliant in that way. This book is like shockingly, and it's a flexible symbolism, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody reading it's going to apply a slightly different thing to it. Poor Tom. You don't want it to happen to him either, but you're also reading it going, I don't know what you're going to do, dude. I got nothing for you.
Marvel Knights, The Punisher #3 from This Is Part of the World to Come somehow. Jimmy Palmiotti, Dan Panosian, and Richard Stark.
The agent. Agent's the guy from the Black Panther book.
Right. But like, what is happening? How this all ties together? It doesn't really matter.
You're right about that. You said it. Marvel Knights, Punisher 3. Jimmy Palmiotti on story. Dan Panosian, or maybe both of them are working on story. It's not very clear. Dan Panosian on art. Starkings and Tyler Smith. For reasons I don't fully understand, I am loving all these Marvel Knights books.
Yeah.
Like I don't typically like Punisher books all that much.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, the Punisher's really been in this all that much. But to me, this is the right kind of like the Punisher wakes up and he remembers everything that he did, so he tries to punish himself, and then he's he knows what he has to do. He has to go punish the bad guys, and that's what's going to happen. And I just, again, in a sort of book where they're off the tree of Marvel, they're off on a different branch, and it's these same guys coming back to tell their story from the Marvel Knights era. I don't know if it's something about the feel of like that retro feel of how things used to be, or because it doesn't really feel, I don't remember what those comic books feel like. But there's something about the freedom of it that I think I really like, and it does not hurt that Dan Panosian is an underappreciated master, and he's doing like what he's doing on this book is perfect. It's perfect.
No other comic book looks like this book. Yeah. That's, even if I hated the story, I would read it just because he's so good and he works so little, and so it's a very special thing to see him do interiors.
Also, and it's just a bit like, I've been a big fan of Jimmy Palmiotti over the years. Some he does that are great, some things aren't. He went through his like Kickstarter phase, and like those were okay here and there. This is. I actually forgot who was writing. I looked at the beginning. I was like, wow, that is Palmiotti. That's great. This is like Jonah Hex Palmiotti, I think.
I'm a bit mixed on. I think it's fun. I found myself reading it going, man, these agents, both the guy and both undercover agents, there's two of them. So the Punisher's kidnapped by a cartel and drugged with this drug that makes him into a moldable zombie, meaning they can make him do whatever they want. They turn him into their hired assassin called the zombie.
El Zombie, which is Spanish for the zombie.
Right. That's why I said the zombie. And so there's the U.S. government sends an agent in to get him out, and then it turns out there's also a Mexican government agent in the staff too. They're both the dumbest agents I've ever seen. Like, they are both really, really bad at their jobs, both obvious about their work. They both talk very stupidly. Like, I couldn't get over how badly they were portrayed. I don't know if that was intentionally comedic or not. The Punisher stuff was excellent. The Punisher waking up, remembering all the bad things he did for the cartel member, trying to shoot himself in the head, somehow botching that. I guess you got to believe the Punisher would botch a suicide attempt, blowing off half of his face, and then in a very sort of Garth Ennis-y situation is going to spend the rest of the story with half of a face.
I told you it was like Jonah Hex.
That's true. He is like Jonah. He actually has the same face flaps. I like a lot of it, but a lot of it I'm just like, this is kind of dumb. But then Palmiotti is very much into like pulpy, over the top stuff right now, so I'm fine with it. But man, it's just the way that Panosian uses like the dot pitch overlays. His characters are slightly cartoony and comedic looking, but they also have a realism to it. You can see the sketchiness in the lines.
His lines are so beautiful. I just look at all the different lines and places, and I love it. It's that impressionistic thing.
There's a texture to the Punisher's face that's awesome. It makes it look sort of scraggly. It's just wonderful, and I'm enjoying the book. I'm enjoying the book. I found the agents a little stupid, but I mean in terms of their behavior. But I'm enjoying the book. It's fun.
I mean, that's the thing. It's the same thing with the Black Panther one. Is this? It's just like I have no idea if this is good or why. I think it might not be, but I don't know what it is.
Well, that's what I
But I'm
mean. They
interested.
haven't told us like what is the world to come.
It's coming.
But like, but what I mean is they don't have to tell me the story point. But
yeah,
like, are we? Is there a book that's going to be called The World to Come? Like, are we? What are we aiming towards?
The world that's here. That'll be.
What does that mean?
That'll be now, but it's not now. It's then now. You understand?
I understand.
I'm totally cool with that because the fact is, if we know, it's less interesting. Right now, it's just possibility. And if you tell me, I'm so glad that you don't have to tell me in the cold open what the fuck will be in the third act. I don't want that.
No, I'm saying I don't want to know this reveal. I just want to like, I just wish someone had said, we're putting out this Marvel Knights book. It's going to lead to this big old Marvel Knights thing. Like, I just don't know what I'm reading here. That's my.
I get to just hope and have that. I get to have that. Looking forward to some kind of payoff, and it may not be there, but as long as the journey's okay, I'm cool with that now.
And they're also just bizarre, and I kind of like that they're bizarre, but they're bizarre.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Like they're just who authorized this? Like these guys, you know. I mean, and I'll say it.
Just
I
snorted.
think Palmiotti.
I guess we owe Quesada something. So let's just let them do.
They saved comics. They saved Marvel Comics. They changed everything. People don't know.
Palmiotti is underappreciated and underrated in his importance 100%. In the history of comics for saving Marvel. Quesada gets all the credit because he ended up becoming Marvel's EIC, but he and Palmiotti did it together originally.
Yeah,
Marvel Knights.
And that was really the inflection point. And I think absolutely. So let him run. I mean, it's cool.
All right, one more quick break. We'll be back for more comics in just a second. Let's talk about Supergirl number 8. 7 was pick of the week. This is number 8 with Sophie Campbell on story, but Haining, the mysterious Haining on art.
You guys haining over there? Quit haining.
If the pick of the week, and it has in the past sometimes come down to one scene. It totally has. I've definitely picked a book based on one scene in a book.
Sure.
But I thought the opening scene for Supergirl, the first 3 pages where she is adopted by the Danvers, was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I got to that. It was like it's a cold open, but it's a flashback, and then we go to the present, and it's got like a quality to the coloring that makes it look like it's old pages. I thought this is the most wonderful and terrifying Silver Age short story that I've read in a while, and then it kind of didn't sort of pay off. I thought in the main story, but I thought the open where we find out that Kara has a robot double that she deploys to make sure her identity is saved, that lives in a tree outside the orphanage, and then she puts the double back in the tree, gets in the car, and then it's just the slow faded on the eyes of the double. I was like, that was amazing. With
the small text.
Yeah.
I'll wait here, or whatever it is.
Yeah. And the light from the crack in the seam of it just was amazingly well done. And we talk about all the time, this is a very Silver Age book. We like it. And I thought that the main story was fine. I just think this Larsa character is awful, and I think she's annoying. And then the robot shows up at the very, very end, and then that's sort of it. And I just feel like it didn't really pay off. It felt a little bit like the Donald Blake storyline in Thor, where they had him come back and he's like, "You've been abandoning me for years," but they did that. He got a whole arc out of this. The robot got like 4 pages at the end, and then just kind of. I feel like there was too many stories going on. Here's what I'm saying. If I can be more precise.
I mean, I don't. I feel like this one's not. This can't be over. Like I don't think that.
Yeah, the next one is the Incredible.
No, I know, but I just mean in general. This is an ongoing thing, but there's got to be more payoff for the robot girl. But I don't
think so. She's dead at the end.
Yeah, we'll see.
I just think they spent more time on Kara being depressed during the holidays because she doesn't have her family's all gone than they did on the robot. And I felt like they were building up a scarier thing with the robot. Then she just sort of shows up and collapses and dies. But
there's a metaphor there. I don't know that one either.
It wasn't bad. I was like, oh, this is really interesting, and then it kind of just didn't pay off for me. But
I do like I don't want to overdo it. It shouldn't be done too much, but every once in a while, grabbing something from the Silver Age and being like, "This is fucked up."
Yeah,
You don't always want to do it because then it
it
ruins the other
undercuts the whole
stories.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 981 or 17. This is the other book, like Nova, that features a cosmic ragtag group of characters thrown together for a mission. And here we've got Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz doing the other side of the Spider-Man. So we've got two stories going. We've got the one on Earth with Ben Reilly and Norman Osborn, and we have Peter Parker in space with Rocket Raccoon and all these other people. One note I did have before we dive into it is I didn't love the coloring on this issue. And Marte Gracie is a really good colorist, but there was a couple of panels where Peter's face looked really sort of artificially painted, which I didn't love. Just a personal preference. So let me find an example for you. Page 6 on your digital reader, where he's talking in the woods to the girl. I didn't love the texture they've added to his face there. I just feel like Pepe Larraz's art doesn't need it. But
I mean, I think was it this book that we were talking about in that exact thing recently? Where I just was like, the art's great. I don't love all the digital smoothitude that's been put on top of it. But I am upset that it appears that we will be leaving this world soon.
Yeah.
This epoch, this story of Spider-Man out in the world. I have no desire for him to quickly rush back after spending all of that time on Earth with him. This is a fun new. It's almost like doing an Elseworld story within, the main story, which is so cool. It's in canon Elseworlds thing, but he's not married. He's got nothing. Like, he's just able to go out and have space adventures. You've taken that character, you've actually put him in a whole new thing. That's awesome. We don't ever get to do that.
It's awesome, and it's like this is like Exhibit A is why you don't want him to be married. It's because he can go off and have this romance with Ray in space, and then that's fun. It's soap opera. You need to have those romance elements that can pop up when you meet people on adventures. And so he's got this warrior named Ray who they've at least been kissing. Rocket Raccoon, and then there's like the hippie dippy dude, and then the monstrous scientist, and they're all they've crash landed on this island planet, or this island on a planet, and they've got to fix their ship while also being attacked in the woods. And I think this space adventure has just been incredibly fun, and it's Rocket's a great foil. They've all got these different personalities. They're totally different. Every character is totally different personality, and they all bounce off of each other, and there's conflict among them. The whole thing here where Ray's societal better in a very caste society shows up, so she
that was really interesting.
Kneels and won't get up no matter how much help Peter needs, fighting off the creatures. He's like, I'm dying out here, and the flashbacks, Peter's story about being younger and not telling on a priest was
pretty heavy. A lot happened here.
It was really well done. It was a good issue. Yeah.
I like the line I like that they didn't waste the mad scientist alien doctor.
Right.
Like, they created this great character. You find out he's a bad guy, and they're like, we'll let him hang out with us. And I was like, cool. And I was like, aren't they worried he's going to kill them? I was like, no, I don't want to worry about it either. And I like to think the beginning where he's like, I don't know why he's wasting time. They're biologically compatible.
They can never have children. So,
and I liked the resolution of why they crashed.
The hippie dude is like, just want everyone to chill with each other, man.
Yeah. The cup-headed guy.
He's great. I hope this guy hangs around.
I don't want these characters all on Earth. I don't want him to bring him back with him. I don't who the Wreck Rabbit, whatever that was. I don't want that. I'm keeping it. You know what? Let's do the rest of the year in space, though.
Well, that's the rest of the year is this issue.
No, I mean, whenever it started, one calendar year. Let's
This run has still been rocky. We loved the Zeb Wells run. This run's been rocky. This has been the best part of Joe Kelly's return to Spider-Man.
Now, you said that people didn't like
the
Zeb Wells one very much. Do you know how? Do you have a sense of how people feel about this? Fair enough.
About this, I don't have a sense of it. We don't post about it a lot. One of the reasons why I know people hate it is because every time we posted a pick of the week for Spider-Man, we got tons of hate about how terrible the run was. But we haven't made this one a pick, so I don't see what their reaction is.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately. Let's take a quick break. And for the last time this year, we want to thank you all for supporting the show. iFanboy is listener and viewer supported. We're essentially a small business. We're not part of any podcast network. Josh and I don't star in movies and host TV shows and therefore bring people to our show. We don't have outside fame to run this engine like most podcasts do. We're supported by you, the listener and the viewer. And the best way to do that is patreon.com/iFanboy. That's where you can directly support the show, become part of a great community in Discord and Facebook. You can vote in the Patron Pick and get a Patron Power live on the show. Join the monthly hangout, which we're going to be doing this weekend. By the time you hear the show, this will already have happened or will be happening. At $10 or higher, you get a lot of great things. You get an ad-free version of all of our shows. You get the Pick of the Week show a day early, and you get access to the iFanboy After Show on Sundays, where we talk about all the books that didn't make the main show's rundown. It's a great deal, I think. And there's a discount if you sign up for 1 year all at once. And now you can send and receive gift memberships as it's the holiday season. Just, get your grandfather the gift of iFanboy and then don't explain it. It'll be awesome. It'll be real fun. So all of that's at patreon.com/iFanboy. We thank every patron of the show. Obviously, everyone who listens or watches is important to us. And we thank you all, but really the patrons are the ones that make sure the show continues on. And so we really do appreciate that. But everyone else can help in other ways if you don't want to be a patron. There is a fanboy.threadless.com. That's our merch store. We have 23 designs on t-shirts and more. You can get gifts for the holidays. There's lots of gifts. If you've got a moody teenager who doesn't think anything's awesome and is worried about their future, get them a Nothing Makes Sense, Nothing Matters keychain or a mug or a t-shirt. They'll love it because it'll speak to the inner nihilist inside all of them. And that's great. fanboy.com/support is our digital tip jar. If you don't want to become a patron, you don't want to buy any merch, that's fine. You can just throw some money in the tip jar and say thanks for all the entertainment over the years or over the year or however long you've been listening, and we appreciate that. Again, we will accept any amount from any reckless billionaire, any eccentric billionaire, any totally normal billionaire who has some extra money. A centimillionaire, we'll take that too. We don't discriminate, and we appreciate that. We'll deal with all the tax implications.
I think if you run a cartel, we should not.
Probably not. We might discriminate there.
Yeah.
Oligarchs, cartels.
I mean, an oligarch is a little. I mean, see no evil, hear no evil.
Are they just supplying a need? fanboy.com/Amazon is a shopping link. It was a joke. Yeah, I hope everyone understands that was a joke. fanboy.com/Amazon. We're in the midst of shopping season. I just did a flurry of shopping over the last week because I realized I had done none. And some of it.
Then again, if you take away some of the resources that they have, so they would be then less effective at maybe some of the more negative aspects.
The cartel suddenly has $1 billion less. So maybe we should be encouraging cartels.
Maybe it's like a make good. It's like restitution, right. in a cathartic moral sense.
That's how you help the human race is give back.
We'll keep that. We're gonna keep that as a discussion point.
We'll talk internally about it. iFanboy.com/Amazon shopping link. So if you're going to be doing any last minute holiday shopping via Amazon, we appreciate if you use the link on that page. It doesn't hurt you any. It just helps us, and we appreciate that. We know you're going to be doing shopping. We know you haven't done it all yet, so we appreciate anyone who does that. And finally, bookshop.org is our partner to help local bookstores. So whenever I buy books, I buy them from bookshop.org. That means that a local bookstore fulfills the order and sends it to you, and that's great news for everybody. There'll be links when appropriate on the website for those books that we talk about, mostly in the Booksplode shows. But if you just want to go through there and then shop, that's great too. And we really appreciate it. Again, on our final pick of the week of the year, we just want to thank everyone who supports the show because it quite literally wouldn't happen without you. I am using a new monitor because my old one started to die, and I did it through help of you guys. Anything, equipment we need, lights, microphones, new cable. I bought a new XLR cable, which is a microphone cable because I think mine's starting to die. All that's able to be done through the support of the listeners and the viewers. So I thank everyone very much who does so. You're the lifeblood of the show. Let's move on. Talk about a couple more books. Aquaman number 12, story by Jeremy Adams and art by John Timms. So these DC KO fights, some of them are happening in these special books, like this week was Wonder Woman Lobo, and some of them are happening in the actual books, like this week Aquaman fighting Hawkman. The best I can tell by looking at the whole list was any popular book they didn't want to derail got a special. Any book they were okay with derailing went into the
We're
book.
hoping it would like pop up the
Right, like Wonder Woman and Batman get specials. Superman gets a special. Aquaman, Titans, Flash happens in the book.
I think that's good. That's probably right.
It's smart. So this one was a fight between Aquaman and Hawkman, and I thought it was awesome. John Timms I really like John Timms. He's sort of an underrated, under the radar artist at DC right now, and he's really strong DC style superhero artist. And Aquaman and Hawkman have a lot of history. They go back together to the Silver Age. They've been on lots of teams together, and so there was a bit of pathos to them having to fight each other, and it was good. And I will spoil it because it's the book Aquaman. Aquaman wins the fight. So,
all right.
I really enjoyed it. I did. Less so the other one, but we'll talk about it in the after show. But this was a really fun knockdown, drag out superhero battle, and that's kind of what the whole point of DCKO is. And we're fine with it. And this was enjoyable. Geiger
19. This basically was a short story. I don't know if it had an ending, but it focused on the girl. The nuclear woman lady. I don't know her name. I only know the guy's name because Geiger's in the title, so that's on me.
Well, what's his first name?
Matt?
Tariq
Geiger, yeah.
Her name is Ashley Arden.
Ashley Arden. She had a name, though.
Like, she's the glowing woman.
The glowing woman, because he was the glowing man.
Yeah.
I think that this was interesting because there was, she brought him in, there was the big fight, and it turned out that she was trying to get revenge on whoever, and she's angry and goes away, and you think, oh, we've made a supervillain. But what we actually find out is that she is out in the world, trying to do good, air quotes good, by helping children escape from terrible people. And so her character is more nuanced than we would have believed. It wasn't like a good person who turned bad. It's someone who's been through a lot of shit.
She's more hard-lined than Tariq for very obvious and justifiable reasons, being she was trafficked as a young girl.
Right. And I just thought, I'm glad that she's not gone because she's interesting, and this made her more interesting.
I will say this was the issue this week where I was like, burn those fuckers, burn those motherfuckers to the ground and to ash. Like, there's some really horrible people here. But you didn't talk about the real big thing happened in this issue, which was the final page reveal that she's being tracked by none other than Redcoat by Simon Pure.
Simon Pure. And apparently, we'll find out he's anything but.
I like the Gary Frank drawing of him. It's awesome.
I mean, Gary, I did through the whole thing. I'm like, oh, Gary Frank. I don't believe this woman would wear this uniform, but other than that, it's fine.
I think Ryan and I talked about this the last time that we talked about either Redcoat or Geiger when you weren't on the show, but they keep teasing all these characters are going to come together. Like, Redcoat's here, the Northerner, the robot soldier from Vietnam, but yet nothing has happened. But they're still out there, all together in the world. We haven't gotten together yet.
You remember all those villains that they introduced a really long time ago, like in Vegas, and there was card suit people, and I don't remember any of those, and I assume they're coming back, all the warlords and everything.
This says
I don't even remember what book that was.
Beginning at the end. It's in Geiger. It says the end and the beginning at the end of this, and then in the next page teaser it shows Geiger fighting the Northerner, who was in Redcoat, and it says an epic tale of the unnamed starts here. So maybe we're finally going to get to the point of whatever's happening, but who knows?
Because we didn't know their names, and now we will.
They're
unnamed. Okay.
So those are the books that we wanted to talk about, but we just talked about the benefit of being a patron is that patreon.com/iFanboy. Every patron, no matter what level you're at, gets a vote to add a book to the rundown. And this week, it was a very healthy win for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 13 from IDW. This is the new creative team. Story by Gene Luen Yang, art by Freddie E. Williams II. Codes by Andrew Dahlhaus and letters by Sean Lee. And so they've taken over from Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira, who were awesome. That run was great. We really enjoyed it. Yep. And so now we got a new team. What are your thoughts?
Too short. I mean, I feel like the whole thing was get the team back together, which happened very slowly, and then he handed off the reins.
Oh, you mean the Jason Aaron run?
Yeah, and this is nothing against this issue. It's just that you didn't even really get a chance to tell a story. You did what was the prologue to a run that I thought was coming, and it isn't. And I find that disappointing, especially given the pairing of those two people and what I thought they could have done together.
Right. It was more like a kind of an origin story. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't, but it was kind of like bringing the team back
Yep.
together story in a way that felt like an origin story. I thought this was fine. I didn't have the love for it like I did the first run or the previous run. I think Freddie Williams is a really terrific artist. I thought the art here was good. Gene Luen Yang is one of the best people making comics alive, but those comics tend to be his comics. The stuff he does for other companies, Marvel, DC, IDW, can be very hit and miss. He's written some good stuff, but for the most part, I find it just okay.
I think there's good stuff in it, but it's not like I feel like he struggles in the confines of this type of story where doing his own, like he can let his all his talent.
He's one of the
fly.
best people making comics alive.
That's a good way of putting it.
This felt weird because it takes place. It's continuous from the previous run, but now Donatello's back to normal. Like he was a skinny, spindly turtle. Maybe there should be a couple issues of him progressing back to normal, or he's eating a lot, because he was basically a skeleton in the last issue, and now he just looks like every other turtle. And I don't know, the villains didn't really grab me. I'm more interested in Splinter and what's happening with him coming back, and than I am with these sort of other mutants they're fighting. But was it Cowboy Bebop? Who the fuck was that they were fighting? This is like a
Cowboy Bebop is a manga.
I know.
So
I'm just
Rocksteady and Bebop.
No, like who was the the bull they were fighting?
Sanchu. Well, he says, "I am the new Sanchu of the." So that's a title, not a name. Well, I mean, what I think the difference is that when in the previous arc, what we were reading was
Papa Bang.
There you go, Bang.
They call me Papa Bang. Bang.
Yeah, he's bringing in, I think, the Chinese influence to mix along with the Japanese. And Bang. I think that, like before, there was a real sense of like, we are starting this over, and you can jump in now and read this story from jump. And this issue feels more like the continuity of whatever had been happening before, and now we're in the middle of it. And I would have preferred more. And I don't know if this is newer, but it feels like, when you start reading a series and it's got a big backstory, and you're like, I mean, like I remember the name Baxter Stockman, but I don't know if all these other things existed or not. I don't know the context for anything. I can give it the benefit of the doubt, but I think the big story here, though, the real thing that we need to talk about, is that Freddie Williams wins the award for the single best drawing of pizza that Conor and I have seen in these many years of watching artists haplessly trip over themselves, having no idea the physics of delicious hot pizza.
It's not like it's an exotic food.
It isn't.
But Josh texted me. He was like, "This is some good pizza drawing." And this gives you a window into what we talk about off the show.
I don't like to spoil things, but I also did not want to forget. I think this is too important.
Yeah. No, it's very good. There's a scene of the turtle sitting around with April O'Neil eating pizza, talking about stuff. And I'm looking at it now. It's all there's a fold in the pizza. There's a bend that usually happens when you're holding it like that.
And you get a sense of how, because they say, I wish we were eating it at the place because it's best when it comes out of the oven. And this is just in cardboard. It's true. The pizza has humidified itself a little bit. It's become more floppy. You can see that. It's still hot. The cheese is melty. I'd like to bring your attention to, and you need to go look this issue. You should probably buy it just for this page, if I'm going to be honest with you. Michelangelo is eating a piece of pizza in the very last panel. And what he's done is he's pulled his lips away from it, and he's just going teeth. And that is so you get through the cheese so you don't get the flap down. You don't
burn.
Yeah, which in college, I mean, I was basically scarred from the lips down from trying to get that pizza down too quick.
I'm looking. There's some nice cheese stretch in some of them. Like, that happens. You'll take a bite and then it sticks and it comes away from the plate.
Look at the lines of pizza left in the box from where it was taken out.
Good. It's good.
Someone
cut a half a slice there. Clearly, someone's not all about it must be Leonardo's not all about the crust, because there's crusts on his plate next to him. Yeah. He's watching his carbs.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a teenager though. Someone should tell him eat all the pizza now.
So how many
all now, because never again.
How many years are we saying that this took place in then? I don't think they can be teenagers anymore. I don't think it's possible.
It's in the title.
He had a Japanese television series for a large amount of time.
I'm just saying, they're still teenagers. They are eternally teenagers, just like all psychics should be. So I don't know. I almost want to bump the rating up on that page alone.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this book. Now we'll rate it. Ratings on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 13 out of 5 stars. If you take out the pizza scene, you've got a standard, okay, fine, good comic book. Not quite as good as the previous run, but enjoyable and recognizably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even if it takes away some of the things that made the last run special. But then you add a page with the best portrayal of pizza eating in comics in years, and I think your 3-star rating becomes a 3.25.
I was going 3.5.
So there you go.
I'm with you. Freddie E. Williams is an absolutely fine artist, but Juan Ferrer is a special artist.
Juan Ferrer is special. Freddie Williams is great. We've loved Freddie Williams for decades, going back to his Robin run, and he's a better artist now. If he had been the original artist on the run with Jason Aaron, we would have been saying this is awesome. But it's
great character designs, really fun layouts. It's just, Juan Ferrer is a special thing.
Patreon.com/iFanboy. Every patron gets a vote to add a book to the rundown. But at the $5 or higher level, if you're a patron, you do Superpower live in the show, like Keith Robinson. Keith, Josh, have you ever been around like a door lock? It's got like RFID or whatever. Like we just walk up and it unlocks on you.
Sure.
All locks are that to Keith. All locks are open to Keith. His aura just unlocks every lock, whether it's a door or a car or a diary or whatever you've got locked up. All locks just pop open for Keith. All doors are open.
That's helpful because a lot of times those RFID ones are actually persnickety. So even if you had it, it's helpful.
Yes.
The hotel door, and you're like, I don't know. Well, we should go down and get another key.
At least it's not that dark period of time, however many years ago, when you would put the hotel key in within 10 feet of your phone and it would wipe it. Which was like the bane of our existence at Comic-Con. But
yes, that's true.
But anything is open for Keith. Like if you forget your keys, it doesn't matter. Doors open. If Keith wanted to be nefarious and a criminal,
sure,
it'd be a good one. But he could also just be like, I don't have to worry about bringing my keys with me. All locks open.
Even fully mechanical, it does not need to have
everything.
Okay, right. That's
just not just digital locks. Every lock just pops his way open.
Here's a benefit for that. Are we just talking about locks? Because what I'm thinking is, I would really love to not carry keys anymore. So, like, this is the car.
No, he can't start the car.
Oh,
but he might have a car that starts like I don't have a key. It just starts based on my thing in my wallet. So.
Right, my key isn't. You don't put it in it.
But he's got a fob. It's not. No, he doesn't recreate a fob. He just opens the locks.
So it's really just locks.
Yeah, all locks open for Keith. He's lock master. Keith, thanks for being a patron. The last patron of the year. Patreon.com/iFanboy. Like I said, every patron gets a vote to the rundown. Now this and gets a $5.
I'm sorry.
My brain went to the wrong segment. Yeah.
Is it involuntary? Like if he walks by locked doors.
Oh, just pop.
Like right, he doesn't.
But much like an area of effects power. No, but like an area of effects power in a video game, once he leaves the area, they lock up again.
Sure.
So,
okay.
All right. So this is normally the part of the show where we read viewer mail, or listener mail. They're both viewers and listeners now. But we're skipping that this week. We're going to do our traditional final show segment, picks of the week by the numbers. This is where we look at the stats behind this year's picks, and truths are revealed and things are revealed to us. But normally you'd write into contact@fanboy.com. That's how you get on the show. If you want to write it for a Media Explode show, but Media Explode the subject line. I've already cleared the decks of the emails. So anything that comes in now will be for next year. So if you want to get your emails in, you can do it now to contact@fanboy.com. Okay.
Side note, I think that the listeners sent in I think we had a good year of questions.
Great year of questions. Yep. We had a bunch of questions we'd never had before in our 20 years, which is going to be difficult. A lot of fun times. Look, we love the email segment. Viewers and listeners love the email segment because we get to chat about things and pontificate about stuff we don't know anything about, and it's great. So thank you very much. You're a very important and integral part of the show, and a great email makes the show 100 times better. So thank you very much for sending them in throughout the years. Okay, Josh, you ready?
I am.
Have everything revealed. Normally, it's fun for me because I have the numbers and Josh doesn't, and I reveal them in my voice to Josh, and he doesn't know the answers. He's now going to see them. If you're watching at home, you're all going to see the numbers on the screen alongside us. So this year, 2025, we had 50 total picks of the week. I did 20. Josh did 19. Dr. Reinhaupt did 11. Of those 50, there were 5 publishers who received them. DC Comics was number 1 with 18. Then Image Comics at 16. Marvel Comics at 13. Oni Press had 2. And Boom Studios got 1. And Josh's 5 publishers. This is a problem. It's covering the screen up. 8 were Image, 5 were DC, 4 were Marvel, 1 was Oni, and 1 was Boom Studios. Ryan did 4 publishers, 6 from Image, 2 from DC, 2 from Marvel, 1 from Oni. And I gave picks out to 3 publishers, 11 to DC, 7 to Marvel, and 2 to Image. I had the most to DC and the most to Marvel this year.
I've noticed that my Marvel numbers are quite down lately.
Marvel's in a bad year. Marvel's in a creative rut at the moment. Other than a few standout books, which we talk about, I think that's absolutely true right now. Marvel needs to sort it out. Sort it out, Marvel. Picks week by the numbers for writers. Writers with multiple picks. There were 10 of them who won multiple times this year. Jason Aaron and Mark Waid both had 5. Ryan North had 4. Dennis Camp, Larry Hama, Charles Soule each had 3. Matt Fraction, Jeff Johns, Benjamin Percy, and Greg Rucka each got 2 picks of the week. And then everyone else got 1. Ed Brubaker, Christopher Cantwell, Sophie Campbell, Tony Fleece, Patrick Horvath, Zach Howard, Tom King, Robert Kirkman, Derek Landy, David Lapham, Maria Lapham, Jeff Lemire, Jed McKay, Mike Marlowe, Rick Remender, Matthew Rosenberg, Rainbow Roll, Mark Russell, Scott Snyder, Mariko Tamaki, Tom Taylor, Dan Waters, Joshua Williamson, Scotty Young, and Chip Zdarsky all had 1 pick of the week each this year. Any thoughts so far?
That's a lot of people. I tend to think there are like 8 comic book writers for the most part in my head. And so when you lay them all out like that, it's like, okay, there's more variety there than I would immediately think of. And I'm also looking at the names and being like, Derek Landy. Oh yeah, Doctor Strange of Asgard. What's that about?
My question is, who are the 2 Benjamin Percy picks?
I know. Who's Mike Marlowe?
I don't know.
I don't even know. That name's not even familiar to me. Not like I think I know that name. No, it's nothing.
Hold on. Let me open the spreadsheet up that has all the data in it because I can answer those questions. There was 1 anthology book this year, but I don't think those names came from the anthology. Who did Benjamin? How did Benjamin Percy get 2? I'm not saying he shouldn't have. I just can't think of the books. I know it's not in my head right now.
No.
Okay, Benjamin Percy was Red Hulk. 2 Red Hulk picks.
Wow, that's you.
Oh no, 1 was Ryan, I think, and then Mike Marlowe is Moonshine Bigfoot.
Oh, earned.
Him and Zach Howard are both Moonshine Bigfoot.
I think if you're doing it like this in the future, if 2 people are a writing team, they should be 1 entry with an ampersand.
Well, that's hard because then they are. If like David Lapham had wrote multiple books that got picks, then he technically got 5 picks. So it's tough. It can go either way. I understand what you're saying. Let's talk about the artists. Artists multiple picks 10. Chris Somney had 4. Steve McNiven had 3. Brian Hitch, Jorge Jimenez, Chris Mooneyham, Rafa Sandoval, Jeff Shaw, Corey Smith, Gabriel Hernandez Walta, and Eric Zawadsky all had 2 picks each. And then 31 artists received pick of the week honors. Daniel Cunha, Mohamed Asrar, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Tyler Crook, Sophie Campbell, Mateo Delafante, Carmine Di Giandomenico, Steve Ellis. I skipped a couple of syllables in that name. Steve Ellis, Patrick Horvath, Mikkel Jenin, David Lapham, Michael Lark, Derek Loffman, Alvaro Lopez, Doug Monkey, Carlos Magno, Paco Medina, Lucas Mayer, Dan Mora, Amanse Noafan, Ryan Otley, Paul Pelletier, Steve, John Phillips, Bob Quinn, I don't know who Steve is, Humberto Ramos, Javier Rodriguez, Valero Shiti, Otto Schmidt, Bill Sienkiewicz, RB Silva, Jeff
Spokes, Nathan Stockman, Luciano Vecchio, and Dave Wachter.
I have a button on the screen that moves the slides and it blocks part of the slide now, so I can't read the bottom line. So all those people got 31. Any questions?
I'd like to point out that I was paying attention.
Good. I'm glad because I can't read through those names. So, any questions on those?
No,
everything makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Series. So 9 series had multiple picks of the week. Batman and Robin Year 1 had 4. Absolute Superman had, and Daredevil Cold Day in Hell had 3. Oh, Fantastic Four also had 3. And G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero had 3. 2 books that received twice: Assorted Crisis Events, Batman, Red Hulk, and Red Coat. Those were all the books that received multiple picks.
I think it's crazy that Absolute Superman got 3. I mean, and again, it's not a bad book, but I would not think that's a 3 pick of the week book in retrospect.
We've been liking it more and more. So there was the very first pick this year, issue 3, and that was mine. And then you picked issue 7, and then where is it again? It's somewhere in here. Oh, I picked 5. So 3, 5, and 7. I had twice, you once. Series with 1 pick. 24 different series. Got 1 pick: Absolute Batman, Absolute Martian Manhunter, Batman Offworld, Batman Superman World's Finest, Bug Wars, Captain America, DC vs. Vampires, World War V, Detective Comics, Doctor Strange of Asgard, Escape, Free for All, Giant Size Criminal, Good is Dead, I Hate Fairyland, Invincible Universe Battle Beasts, Jenny Sparks, Lazarus Fallen, Moonshine Bigfoot, Nova Centurion, One World Under Doom, Out of Alcatraz, Phantom Road, Spider-Man Holiday Special, Spectacular. That's the way I can't read. What's
Supergirl, Superman, and Uncanny Valley.
I think it was funny that the one time Escape was picked, you weren't on the show.
Yeah, that is weird. I can tell you what, it was almost picked several other times, and I think there's only been 3 issues. I think it was almost picked
issue 4 was the pick.
I wasn't on that show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And then number ones. We like number ones here. 11 number ones were pick of the week this year. 11 out of 50. So 1 out of 5.
Is that low? That feels low.
It's lower than past years.
Right.
Batman, Bug Wars, Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, Doctor Strange of Asgard, Free for All, Giant Size Criminal, Good is Dead, Invincible Universe Battle Beast, Moonshine Bigfoot, Out of Alcatraz, Red Hulk, Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular were all picks of the week. Those were all number ones. And 4 imprints, 5 picks from 5 Absolute Comics were made pick of the week, 4 Skybound Entertainment Comics, 2 Ghost Machine, 1 each from Black Label and Giant Generator. Those are the imprints. And then finally, that means by the numbers, our series of the year was Batman and Robin Year 1. Our writer of the year was a tie between Jason Aaron and Mark Waid, and our artist of the year was Chris Samnee. Those by the most number of picks, by just purely by the numbers.
Now, you would probably say that Batman and Robin Year 1 was your favorite.
Yeah, it was my book of the year. Yeah.
See, I don't think I would call it that, but I couldn't argue it. You know,
yeah.
Certainly the most complete package and the most consistent book with the best talent. So
yep.
That works.
So there you go. Those are the picks of the week by the numbers. It was a good year. It was a solid year. The last 2 weeks notwithstanding. So let's wrap it up. Let's wrap this show up and let's bring the plane into the hangar and get go on our holiday break after the other shows we have to put out. We still had some shows come out recently. So 3 weeks ago we had our Talksplode interview with Chris Eliopoulos. Josh talked to him. That's behind the show on the feed. Last week, or was it last week? Only last week. Our special edition more pick of the week 1000 emails show, where we answered about 30 emails from the pick of the week 1000 mailbag that we didn't get to on the show itself. And then the holiday schedule, the remaining shows this year before we go totally on break. We have 2 more shows coming out after this. On Thursday, December 18th, we have our Booksplode review of The Private Eye. Josh and I and Ryan Haupt are talking about that one. And then finally, our final show of the year, the traditional final show of the year, unless a Star Wars movie comes out, is coming out Sunday, December 21st. All media year-end roundup. That's hitting your airwaves then. Unless you're a patron, you're going to get it a day early. That's our gift to you. And then holiday break, we come back on Sunday, January 11th with Pick of the Week 1008.
And can I say real quick before it drops out of everybody's feeds or whatever it is, if you have not listened to that Chris Eliopoulos show, don't sleep on it. And here's why. I think that's my favorite one that I've done in a while. And it's because A, I really like him and he's a great guy. And B, he has made an enormous impact in the world of comic books and cartooning.
He's been around a long time.
It is, and it's kind of unheralded, and I think that he deserves that. So just sometimes maybe you're looking at your feed and you're I don't have time to listen to all these, and you think, I could skip this one or whatever. Don't skip that one. That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, and for some people they'll think letterer, but
that's what I'm saying.
Chris has been around. He's been around long enough where he went into the bullpen to work. Like that's how long he's been around the industry. So he's got stories for days.
True.
All right, let's wrap it up. You can find our library of, at this point, over 1,500 shows over at iFanboy.com. We hit 1,500 a couple of weeks ago. We just didn't note it because we didn't notice. But we hit them. So you can find 1,500 shows on our feed at iFanboy.com or wherever podcasts are sold, and never miss a show. And find out what the pick of the week is before the show comes up by following us at iFanboy Comics on Instagram and Threads, at iFanboy.com on Blue Sky, and individually we are CS Kilpatrick on Instagram and J. Flanagan on Instagram. And as always, don't miss former iFanboy writer Jeff Reed's video deep dives into comic book minutia every Tuesday and Friday across our social channels and on YouTube. Those will also be taking a holiday break. So the week that we finish podcasts, we're going to give Jeff some time to recover and maybe find some more minutia to talk about next year.
I feel like he's going to make them for himself anyway.
He might.
Or
I'll come back to 10 of them in my inbox.
There's a new teleprompter feature that I've seen if I could make work, and it didn't work.
Because you got to put the thing. Yeah, you got to put the things.
Yeah, see, I only get the one line. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. So you can please consider writing us a review or leaving a star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever it is you get your podcasts. And I'm told here for the last time, thank goodness, if you're listening on Pocket Casts, you will need to be subscribed and have downloaded a few episodes before you can rate it. Is Pocket Casts a significant portion of our listenage?
I don't know. It's just what we were asked to note.
Okay, it's been noted. Subscribe to youtube.com/iFanboy, where you can watch the video version of this show as well as our special edition shows. Jeff Reed's comic book deep dives we just talked about. Those are there in video form. Those are the only form they exist in. It wouldn't make any sense to you if you listen to it. I don't think.
I'm going to help Josh out live on the show. If you go back in the teleprompter, you got to hit the play button, and it'll play them.
Oh, hold on. Let's see there. Play. I don't even see a play button.
You got to hover over the word, and then it'll pop up.
Oh. I don't want to do that now. It's way in the middle of it. Finally, and you can watch all of the archive of all of our old video shows that we did from 2007 to 2012, when this was a crazy whirlwind life that we had. And finally, join us on the iFanboy After Show exclusively for Patreons at the $10 or higher level. We will share our thoughts on the books that we read this week that we did not talk about in this show. Patreon.com/iFanboy for everyone at $10 or higher.
Man, the one speed's way too slow. It's like I'm sleepy or drunk. All right, so
you can't see it on your side when I activate it.
No, it's only for you. The viewers don't see it, and I don't see it.
The viewers.
Yeah.
Okay.
The viewers at home.
Oh, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. That is too slow. You can speed it up.
Yeah, you can go to 4. I went to 4. I took it off. No one needs to know about this. But this is the final show of the year. We're just riffing. Where are we in the script?
We're done. I finished my part. We're done.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for writing reviews. Thanks for financial support. Thanks for all the things you do to help iFanboy continue on. It's been a big part of our lives for most of our lives, and we love doing it. And we are going to love taking our break, but we love coming back and seeing all of you again, and we appreciate it. And if you just listen to one show or all shows this year, we're all of our favorite. And until next year, I'm Conor.
I'm Josh.
Are you sure?
Up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is Josh? Different question.
That's a whole other show we don't have time for.
Who is Josh? I mean, the money I've spent
figuring that out. Let's celebrate Christmas. Woo!
Ding,
all right.
ding.
Bye, everybody.